Good morning, guys. It's Chris from daxtrader.co.uk. It's the 28th of June 2017, and this is the Dax Technical Analysis. Okay, so I've just completed the webinar, so this is going to be a shortened version of what we've just run through. If you want to get involved in the webinar, it will happen every morning, and you'll need to join a Telegram group in order to get the link for that webinar. Get up on the website, daxtrader.co.uk, hit the subscribe button, and you will be able to sign up as a free member. Basic member, and then from there you can get access to that Telegram group. Okay, what you can see in front of you here is the ATAS order flow trading software that's been set up on a 250 volume chart, and we are looking at the individual profiles with the bid and the ask for each individual candle made up of 250 contracts. Now, we have had a huge sell-off on the DAX over the last couple of days, and we've broken through various levels of support, which has made us move from a bullish stance to one very, very neutral, considering options to sell. So let's go and take a look. If you want to get access to this software, by the way, before we move on, then you can go to the website, www.daxtrader.co.uk. You can hit that button there, and you can simply download it at your leisure. Okay, so in that case then, let's get started with the charts. So trading financial markets is risky. It involves the risk of losing all of our invested money. I don't provide any financial advice on daxtrader.co.uk. This is designed for educational purposes only. If you decide to enter into a trade off the back of these videos, then do so entirely at your own risk. Okay, so the daily chart, first of all, we had this ascending triangle pattern formation developing here since May, and we were testing the upside, expecting this to be a continuation pattern and break out below above 13,000. It hasn't happened. In fact, it's been rejected quite aggressively. We've broken to the downside, not just pierced and then been rejected, but actually broken through, closed below it, and then continued to go further below today. So we've got to look for places to either take profit or look to sell again if this move continues. So we had the break here. We've got this level here to look for and this kind of cluster of support there. So that gives us this kind of zone of potential support to be aware of, that it's not a trap. That also provides a bit of confluence with the Kumo cloud. If we break below 12,500, then we've obviously got the 12,400 level directly below that to act as a safety net, but below that, completely different landscape. We're coming towards the end of the month, and you'll often find, as with the end of a contract, that the opening ranges tend to be quite interesting. So take a look at the opening high-low close of the month from last month to see whether or not we're going to look to test those levels. It may well happen. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch for this week to complete ourselves down at 12,400, but certainly not impossible. So go and load those up on your chart, draw them onto your chart, and let's see how close we get to those by the end of the month. All right, so we've also got the 2-hour chart channel was broken. And I was looking at this channel thinking I would just continue to stay in this range. Now we've been trading in that middle area for a little while, and we thought we've broken down. Let's try and test the support zone before we actually buy it. But it didn't test. It actually just broke straight through. And we are now at a 100% extension of that move down. So we had the move here, the first one, pull back, and then that move being the same as the first move gets us down at that 100% level. So that's a potential area of support. Below that, of course, we've got that area there and this area here. So draw those as horizontal lines onto your chart and see how it reacts to those. But at the moment, would I be looking to sell down here? Probably not, just because of the fact that we've reached 100% extension already. We're already at the bottom of that move. So I'd probably be waiting, if I was a seller, to get a bit of a pullback. You've got this kind of underside trend line here. You could maybe look for a pullback to that and then continue a sell move, and maybe there's another leg down there. You've also got the underside of the trend line to look for here, that you could use that instead. So if it pulls back to test this trend line here, there's another opportunity. Maybe put a moving average on there as well, and you can test the underside of that. Okay, let's have a look at the 5-minute chart, because again, that's another breakout. It's broken out on all the sort of time levels, really, which has kind of stopped me in my tracks pretty quickly. So we've broken below the Bollinger Band. We're about 2.5, nearly 3 standard deviations below the midline here, which is quite significant. And we're trailing the 2.5 Bollinger Band down. So we're walking down the bands. Go and check the articles in that course on the Dax Trader website. If you click on course, go on the Bollinger Bands unit, you'll find some interesting bits and pieces about walking the bands there. So we had this wedge pattern formation building up here, and it compressed quite a lot. We're bouncing around inside that. We've broken to the downside. We haven't tested that yet, but that's another opportunity to get in to go short if you wished to do so. Now, just be careful that you've got bullish divergence on the 5-minute chart here. You've got lower lows, but you've got higher lows on the oscillator, and that may suggest, definitely isn't any guarantee whatsoever, but it may suggest that this is an area to pull back. And if that's the case, a pierce back inside the bands could open up an opportunity to move back towards the 1 standard deviation, or even the center line. And I don't know if you can see my mouse moving on the screen, but that's the 1, that's the center line, that's the 2nd deviation. So if we break back inside there, then you've got 2 potential pullback targets before then probably resuming a move to the downside, based on the current moves, of course. All within context. So that's really what we were looking at today. So as far as volume profiles are going, let's just take a quick look at these for potential steer or strategies for today. Okay, a couple of things just stand out. First thing, we opened up today below the value area low from yesterday. So we're already giving ourselves an indication that this is a move to the downside. This is a clear breakout. So we had the same thing happen the day before. We opened up below the value area low from Monday, and then closed below the value area low from yesterday as well. So that's quite significant. We have opened up a low volume pocket. It's fairly tenuous, but it's there. It's quite high, to be fair. It's above 12.6. It's 40, 50 points above where we are at the moment. But if we do break above that cluster of resistance here, then there's a potential opportunity to ride a move from 620 to 650. Now, this is on futures, don't forget. So futures price may differ to your own price. Let me give you an example. On FXCM market scope, 564 is the current price, but on futures it's 556. So you look at 8 points difference there. The underlying asset for FXCM is supposedly the futures price, but actually the truth is it's a simulated market. It's nonsense. It tries to follow the futures price as much as possible, but they're basically market makers. So just check your own broker to see what their underlying asset is, because that I talked about, 620 to 650, is the futures price from Eurex. Okay, so yes, got a bit of resistance here to be aware of, but there is that potential move on that low volume pocket. There's a small volume pocket here, but it's really quite insignificant, probably 8, 10 to 12 points. Yeah, it may not actually provide any significant move whatsoever because of the fact that you've got that little move there, and of course it's also the top of that move here. So actually, to be fair, it's can probably be ignored. So that gives an idea. We've got a break below this low as well here, which will continue to move. Where would you be looking to sell from? You'd probably be looking to sell from 600. You'd probably be looking to sell from the value area low of the move from yesterday, and that would probably be my first pick if it does manage to get that far. If it goes beyond that, breaks back inside the value area, then look for the volume point of the POC point of control from yesterday as probably another point that people are going to watch. If you get the bounce from here, then it may well be as a result of the fact that people are profit taking. They've hit the extension of that move. Is there an opportunity to go long here? Well, yes, there is. Probably is, with not a huge amount of risk. In fact, you can probably risk something like 20 points potentially to go for 60, 65, 70, 80 plus points. You're looking at nearly 4 to 1 on the money. There's an order that's just come in. So keep an eye on whether this is actually a nice place to move. I may well consider that for myself. But I'll leave it there for today. If you've got any problems, give us a shout on Telegram. To download Telegram, just go to telegram.org, download the software either for your phone, for your computer, or you can use the web version, and you'll be able to get hold of me there. Take care, guys. Speak to you soon. See you later.